Hello, it's Dane from leadgenerationtechniques101.com, and I'm just doing a quick tutorial today, a simple tutorial done in Photoshop for how you can make a Google cover photo for your Google Plus page. So their dimensions are 480 by 270. So what I would do in Photoshop, keep in mind you can use other free programs like GIMP to do this stuff. The idea is basically the same in GIMP as it is in Photoshop, but there are some different features, and I don't find it as user-friendly, but it's a good free alternative for people. So anyways, you would go up here, you would click on File, you would click on New. You would put in your dimensions of 480 by 270. Now, keep in mind that's the minimum size for the Google Plus cover photo. That's their minimum sizes. What they're going to do is they're going to stretch it to fit their rectangular box. So if you want it to be clearer, you're going to have to increase your resolution to whatever your particular needs are. I'm not doing anything too fancy, so 92 pixel resolution should be good for me. When it's stretched, then you don't lose as much of your crispness of your graphic or your creation. Anyways, I'm not going to recreate this because I've already recreated it, so I'm just going to cancel that. So you've got your rectangular box. This is basically where you're going to put your information. When it gets stretched by them, this is going to be your boundaries, basically. So anything you want to show, you want it to be within this rectangular box. But that's why it's important to have your resolution set correctly. So anyways, I want to change the background of this. You would go over to the paint bucket tool. You can click on the color picker here to set the foreground color. It brings up the color picker, and I want this particular blue. Keep in mind, if it's you could pick any one of these colors. If you know the hex code, you can put the hex code right here if you're trying to match it to something or match it to your website. But anyways, so a blue like that, it's going to work perfectly fine for me. Actually, maybe a little darker. So you click that, hit OK. You still got the white background. All your information is going to fall over here under the layers category. So you have the background. I'm working on the background right now. So what I would do is, since I've got my color picked, you can see it over here. I've got the bucket ready. Then you click in the center. Boom. It makes the background the color you picked. So there you go. So now you would go down to the right hand side, create a new layer, click on that. Now you could put in your text, put in your social media accounts information. If you want to advertise your Facebook fan page, you want to advertise your email address, you want to put your phone number, you want to put your website address, whatever, your slogan, you could put that all in here. But you should keep up to date on what Google allows and what they don't allow, because I know, like with Facebook, they only allow so much advertising. I believe it's 20% text to the size of your cover photo. So I'm not sure on the specifics for that for Google, but that's something that you should always keep yourself aware of, or keep yourself updated on, because they do change. Anyways, you want to put some text in here. I'm just going to advertise the web URL website, so that when people come to my page on Google Plus, right away they see my web address big and bold, and their eyes are drawn to it. So I would pick the text tool. There's horizontal text, vertical text, various versions, but I mean horizontal is what we want. Up here you look, that's the font that I want. If you click this drop down, you see all the different font options. But I have mine selected. The size, 48 is too big, I'm sure. So I'm going to go to like a 24 and see how that looks. Drop my cursor in there. If you look up top here, this is the font color that's selected. So I want to change the text color. So just click it, because it's not going to show up on the blue. You can change it later anytime you want, but I'm going to make it white right now. So then there you go. You got our flashing cursor, and then you just put in the web address. Now that's obviously too big. So how I do it is all I'm doing is clicking that and holding it down and moving it around. But I would take that, I would go back to the text button. I would click and drag and highlight the whole thing. Then I would go up here again and I would pick a smaller size. So 14 might be a little smaller than I want. But you know what? That's actually not bad. I'm going to keep it at that. So that's the website address that I'm promoting on this particular Google cover photo. Google Plus cover photo, I should say. If you wanted to do something special to that and put to outline the text in that, there's an easy way to do that. You could just go over here to the right, double click. Here's where you can add some simple effects for the layer. So since that's the only thing that I have in the layer, I can click and put a stroke around all the text. If I click on stroke, it'll bring up the color. I could change the color of it. The red is fine, but I want to change the size of it, so I can make it a 2. And then I could go and click on drop shadow to add some drop shadow, and I can click on that for the options. And then you can play around with things like the space, the distance, the spread of it, the distance, and then the size. So from there, there's all sorts of other features in here. I mean, you could change the color of the actual font by clicking on color overlay. Then you go in here and you can pick any color you want. And it changes through all of them. I don't want to do that, so I'm just going to go back to my white font, click OK, and go off. Nothing too complicated. But you could do the same down here. You could put advertise whatever fonts whatever text or slogan you wanted to put in here. So I'm just going to put another little slogan in here just to kind of let people know what my Google Plus page is all about and what the website is all about. So I would go down and click on new layer. Put my slogan in there, and then the same process. If you look over at the right hand side, it's in a different layer now, so you can click on it, move it around. It's too big, so again you have to go click the text tool, click and hold, and then drag over it, highlight the whole thing, and then adjust it. It might be too big for one line, so I might have to put it on 2 lines. So if I wanted to do that, I would just go click the text tool, click here, drop my cursor there, and then hit the enter bar to drop it down on a different space. Something like that. And then I would go back in here, I would double click, I would add my drop shadow, I could add a stroke, I could click over here and change the color of the stroke, I could put no stroke, I could put black, change the size of it over here. And then just position it a little bit better, You can use your arrow keys as well with this. Once you're on the actual layer that you want to use, so when you look on the right hand side, as long as you've got a layer selected, you could use your arrow keys to position stuff, to move it around, just to get it a little more precise. But anyways, so that looks pretty good. Simple. I'm going to add some graphics up here, and that you can do whatever you want. Simple way to do that in this program, unless you had a photo or something that you had cut out, like a clip art from somewhere, you would go create another layer, and you would either place your clip art or your graphic into this image, or you could use some of the little images that are in here already by going to the left hand side, clicking on the custom shape tool. It's selected, and then you go up to the top, and then there's a bunch of different options for things that you could put in. So I'm going to, and then you would go in there obviously to the side, and you would do the same thing, alter them or do whatever you wanted to. I'm going to add some graphics to this, but I wanted to show you the basic idea of the size and making some text that stands out, and you can put in whatever you want to advertise there, your picture, your clip art, your photo, whatever it might be, and go from there. So thanks for watching, and be sure to check out